And you're recording this right now from here. All of them are on,
That's
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how much, like, that's a lot of, how can you store that much on that phone?
It's a good question. So I've got a two terabyte.
Yeah.
I don't need that channel. Mute it. The phone is, I usually upgrade every 2 or 3 years, so it's the iPhone 17 Pro Max. My argument, I'm a sucker for tech. Obviously, it's my day job, but it's good because like you're referring to it, especially yourself, like it's your terminal for communicating with clients, scheduling, etc. Like it's an important piece of equipment, right? So every 2 to 3 years, maybe every 2 years, because that's kind of like the terms for these contracts too. Anyway,
That's what I do, 2 years.
You can give it back and you can save a good chunk, like $600-700, I think, even, right?
I do it every year.
Yeah, man. Oh, good for you.
So I actually keep mine.
Yes.
Sell it and get a new one.
Beauty. There you go.
So you can, when the term is up,
yes.
I actually gave my wife the last one. So I will have it, buy it, use it afterwards. So it actually, there
you go.
So
yes.
there's many ways to
We
go
gave
about
our one old one at 15 to my father-in-law. So so my wife's dad, and before that he had like a flip phone.
Oh, jeez.
So he was due for an upgrade. Yeah. So there's 2 terabytes on there internal. So I have all the peace of mind that it's recording.
Yeah.
And it's really just like a safety angle. And then these 2 cameras though are like the big boys with really nice cinematic looks. We're filming landscape, but then we can reuse like the vertical portions of it too, right?
Interesting stuff. I like a little bits of this.
100%, man. You can get a cheaper version of this called the Rodecaster Duo.
I will not do any of this.
Oh, okay.
Will not touch it. I appreciate my life for people like you.
You got it. Yeah. Wicked, dude.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good way to start this by, saying how we got connected.
Okay.
Because it gives a lot of credence to how beautiful this community is, Whitby specifically, and then the broader Durham region. I truly believe that the Durham region is like one of the best places to live in the world. It's like, Toronto's a great city, but then also like you get a little bit away from like the hustle and bustle. And then like the west side's a little bit too crazy. And then the east side's great, right? So we had on a local Facebook group, Tony Giambattista was trending, the barefoot runner.
Yeah.
And then people were asking all these questions like, who is this guy? Some people were saying, oh my God, that's really not good for you. But of course it's fine. Like he's trained his feet to do it. And he's been doing it for years, 10 plus, right? And people that do know him, like yourself and others.
I don't know him.
Oh, you didn't know him?
No, man. I don't know him.
No way. Oh, that's amazing then that like you discovered him too recently. I've seen him for like the past 10 years.
Yeah, I've seen him all over the place
Yes.
too, but I've never had a direct interaction with Tony.
Oh, gotcha.
So
yeah.
I'll listen, man. I'll run the story.
Yes, please.
I'll tell everybody basically how this came to be. So I'm on Facebook and I see this post about Tony, and I'm like, I've always seen him running around town for years and years. And people are like, oh, that's so gross. Oh, he'll step on this. And like, he should see a podiatrist. And I'm like, okay, I think there's a lack of knowledge in this in this space right here. So when I hear people talking like this, I'm like, hey, take a little step back here and kind of like ask questions as to why. So I commented on that post when people were like, hey, I basically said the same thing. Like, take a step back and try to like be curious about the situation instead of being so, I don't want to use the word toxic, but people will tend to be often, there's a negative thing.
Yes.
So I posted, hey, listen, you should like maybe think about this in a different way. Then someone said, oh, he was on a podcast recently. And I've always said Tony is like, I've heard whispers that his name is Tony. He's a legend within Whitby. This is how I've always described this guy. And then there's someone posted this podcast with you and Tony. And I was like, this is amazing. So I listened to the podcast. I actually sent it to my wife. Then how did I sent it to you? I reached out to you. That's what it was.
Yes, that's right. Yes. And from there, the rest was history. And then we found out we have a mutual friend, my dad.
Mutual friend, man. He was my boss when I was like 20 years old, maybe. So like going back almost 30 years ago.
Yes, right. And when I said this, right, I said, hey, I bumped into John. And he's like, John who? John Kehagias. And he's like, I know him. He knows you instantly. And he was like, do you remember one time we were camping at Balsam Lake and there was this guy yelling behind us saying, Costa? We were getting logs or something like that. So that like we have literally physically met many times probably. And that was one though for sure.
You were in your infancy at that time, right? You were just a baby.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man.
But like, and it's funny because your father, I worked with his kubaro, which is like his best man for like, he was my dance teacher. John Zykos was my dance teacher. So I grew up doing Greek traditional folk dancing.
Yes.
And then connected to Ghost. And I was like, this is like the strangest connection of how we came to connect.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, right? Yeah, it was a funny way, but yeah, it's funny how things get connected, yeah.
And then we found out we had a lot in common, and
That's right.
it was funny when you said, hey, we should talk about our dad traumas growing up in a Greek household. I'm like, oh, geez, man, are we opening up that can of worms? Because
We'll
it was
see.
like,
Yeah.
that would take a few hours to kind of unpack.
Probably,
over
yeah.
a series of 10 episodes.
Yes,
Right?
Yeah. That is, probably,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's kind of fun when you start thinking about those things.
Absolutely. And I think that it's funny that there is like this theme of legacy a little bit, because that's why I did this, right? And like, we always look up to our fathers, and now raising a child of my own, like I understand like how it is. And you're a mature father too. You have a couple kids.
Yeah.
And so I think like this theme of legacy, getting Tony on the pod, because I wanted to learn more about him. And then that just opened up, like you said, like a can of worms of like more and more. And it's been exciting.
It's kind of crazy that you're going in this direction, because I'll tell you, there's a guy that works out of your office. His name is Blake Ewell.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Blake?
I am, yes.
He's a good friend of mine. I've known Blake for close to 20 some odd years, right? And we often send each other memes on Instagram or things like this that we talk about are being fathers. Like, we really try to be the best version of ourselves to help our children, right? And I've always said it's important to be the parent for your child that I needed or you needed at that time when you were their age. So part of healing the traumas that we have kind of gone through, and the traumas are little t, big T, they're all very complicated situations. It's not a super simple cut and dry scenario. But if you can be the parent to your child that you needed, there's a part of you that starts to heal. And you come to terms with certain things. So my dad would always say, he was like, you're going to always do better than I have. Hopefully I can teach you from my mistakes. You can learn from those things. So I was like, I thought about it. And then Blake sends me this post here. So I don't know where, here, I'm going to show it to this camera.
Yeah. Wicked.
This is an interesting thing. So, let's see here.
Yes, hold on. We'll have this like on the screen, but here we go. 1 second. Let me here. If you go to, let's go to that camera.
Okay.
That one will be better.
Because this is fun. This is a cool thing. It says, to my brave son, I just want you to know that all I've ever wanted for you is this one thing. I just wanted you to become better than me in every aspect. I'll do everything I can to make that work. So it was like this one thing that I'll share that post with you so you can actually incorporate it into this.
Yes.
And I sent that to my son, and it was like, being a parent is the most, I would say, the most amazing thing ever, the best gift we have.
Yes.
And the connection, it takes an effort upon each of us to do this. They say you sometimes need a license to, drive a car or any of these things, but you don't need one to be a parent. Right. And being a parent is probably the most challenging thing anybody will ever do.
Right.
The most fulfilling, the most rewarding, talking about legacy, talking about all these memories and stuff like this that you've created with your children.
Yeah.
It's the greatest gift you can possibly have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And today I received another text. I reached out to a friend who yesterday I was like, hey, what's going on? Is your wife due? Like his wife was due. And he's like, actually, we're at the hospital right now.
Oh, amazing.
And then he sends me a picture. They had a baby girl.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are...
Absolutely. It's not even like a matter of wealth. It is a thing that you are, if you're able to, you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's always a complicated thing when you say, if you're able to, you should do. I agree. And, if you think about all the ancestors that have come before us, that have sacrificed so much for us to be here in this moment, and it goes really deep. And you start taking your time, you start looking back, you're like, wow, all the sacrifices our great ancestors made, great-great-grandparents. Starvation, survival. They survived, and we are here because of them. What are we passing on forward?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
So those are things that I often think about with my son. And I was saying to Blake, I was like, I'm gonna kind of create a video between my father, me, and my son to try to incorporate that whole Instagram post. I was like, oh my God, I can create this beautiful video that my son can pass down to his children.
That's right. Yes. Yes. We live in such an interesting time where, I can't go back 2-3 generations and see something like this.
Yeah.
Like this is forever now. And hopefully civilization continues and, which I'm sure it will. And, but now people 300 years from now can go back and be like, oh, great grandpa John, look what he's doing. Yeah. Look what he did.
And within your DNA and within my DNA is a record of every person living that has come before us. Can you imagine if we try to crack that code and try to see? It's like I always think about stuff like this. It's like pretty amazing that we carry. I told my son, we were in Thailand one time. We were driving on our moped, driving around this island. It was a fun adventure, and I was like, I live within you, and so does your mother, so do your grandparents. All the people that have come before us live now within you. You carry this legacy forward into this life. And it's all intertwined in the DNA. And, when you start breaking down DNA, I think there's terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of information encoded within the sequence of DNA.
Yes.
Right? And imagine if we can start cracking that open.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's coming next. The snowball of AI has started. And there's Pandora's box has been opened. And there's no going back in a good way. Yeah. I think in a good way. Did you hear about the gentleman that essentially didn't cure but postponed his dog's cancer?
No.
With AI. So he went to a genomics lab to do a DNA sequence of his dog, which is like specific veterinarian sequencing for that. There is one for humans too. Yeah. Cost maybe a couple grand, so it wasn't cheap, right? But then he took that data. 30 gigabytes of DNA sequencing for his dog. And I imagine human potential is much more, of course, right? And then uploaded it to ChatGPT and then came back with results of what to do, essentially, basically. And then his dog was diagnosed terminal, not going to survive a couple months, and now it's expected to live a few more years at least. Yeah, right.
Man, that's pretty powerful stuff. Can you imagine now if they start tying that into humans?
Right. Yes.
Right? The next level of evolution in that sense.
Yeah. DNA sequencing. I looked into it and I asked AI where would I go to get this done. It used to be thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's right.
Even in 2023. Yeah. Now you can do it for $600 US.
Wow.
And it's just probably going to get better and cheaper and probably going to just be something so simple, I think.
And that started in the Human Genome Project back in the 90s, I think it was. And then it started from there. And then it's it took so much information and power to be able to sequence the DNA. And they still talk about junk DNA. And it's they call it junk DNA because they just don't know yet.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So once they have that information, they start, this is what it's for. And then they, we are truly limited to what knowledge we have at this capacity. Our knowledge is it's so limited, but as we continuously grow and ChatGPT and a lot of these large language models will help us grow our knowledge base. And continue. Have you heard of speaking of the DNA, there's a company called Colossal. Are you familiar with Colossal?
Maybe not.
They are a company that is bringing back the woolly mammoth.
Right. Yes.
Right. They've recently brought back dire wolves. Right. Based on 10,000-year-old DNA that was still viable. They're working on bringing back the dodo bird, the Tasmanian tiger. So all these amazing little things. So it's pretty cool to see how far we're coming. And this is I've always thought about this. They say, are you familiar with the book Sapiens?
No. Which one's that one?
So Sapiens is basically its subtitle is a brief history of humankind, right?
Okay,
so
yes.
It's an amazing thing that you can, it's a decent size, it's pretty big, but it goes back to the history of our species and how we've come to be. They talk about the time when the megafauna back in, I think it's 15,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago in North America, most of the big megafauna went extinct.
Right.
Some theories believe that humans had killed them all, and that's how they disappeared. And
Right.
there's many different theories as to what's happened to them. No one really truly knows. But again, they're theories and ideas. So what they're trying to do is trying to bring back the woolly mammoth, who they believe in the tundra in some of these areas would kind of regenerate the land based on them. Are you familiar with Yellowstone and
yes.
they brought back the wolves to the area, and the wolves started changing the direction of the rivers because the elk that were there never had natural predators, and by having like a whole system that allowed an ecological system that had predator and prey, it actually started changing the direction of the rivers, which is pretty amazing.
That's mind blowing, right? Like,
and you can search it up, and if anybody's interested in, it's like how wolves change the rivers or something like that in Yellowstone.
Right.
But again, introducing the predator and prey opportunity here started changing the landscape. So they were eating less trees and so on and so forth. Anyways, it's a pretty cool.
That's amazing. Using nature itself to help balance nature and bring nature back. And,
it's a weird thing. So they're thinking that the woolly mammoth bringing back to the Arctic and the tundra could do similar things for the environment, right? Could just basically explode the the natural population of certain predators and prey and kind of bring back trees and certain things that
That's brilliant. This is real life Jurassic Park coming back.
pretty fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Wicked. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is cool. Every episode we do, there seems to be this theme of holistic, like the circle of life. It is so funny, actually. Like literally every episode we've done. We should do like a super cut
of all the different things that you're learning. You know, I recently thought about there's this idea of. I talk to my wife a lot. Like I told you before we started the podcast, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things. I want to talk a lot just because of like, I need to try to get this that's inside my head that I've, got through my eyes or through my ears, whether it's me listening through a podcast or watching something or reading something. I've got this broad spectrum of information. But I was saying to her, like, we're kind of all somewhat lost in life, right? We're all looking for some sort of a direction. And people can get, I don't want to say hoodwinked, but they can go off course by listening to the wrong person and kind of like getting the wool pulled over your eyes type of situation. But we're all trying to find a direction to some extent in the sense of like we're lost. So there are you've got different religions that will help offer some purpose and meaning to someone's life. And that kind of helps people point to a North Star.
Yes.
To give them direction into sense of like where they are going. There is, whether you're following philosophy, for example, Stoic philosophy. I love Stoicism.
Nice.
And again, the philosophy that they embodied over 2,000 years ago, some of these people that were alive, it's a roadmap to how to live a good life. The struggles that they faced 2,000 years ago are really not much different from the struggles we face today.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you take a look at these things, there's like, someone has kind of gone through this. And all we have to do is follow some of our ancestors, some of these people who have come before us. And we don't have to try to reinvent the wheel onto how to live a good life. And that's why religion is a great tool for many people.
Yes.
That gives them that roadmap on how to live a good life. But we get like sidetracked of like this, shiny new object over here.
Yes.
And this happens all the time in life.
Very much so. Yes,
right?
That's true.
Yeah. So I've really, this is kind of the stuff we were talking about. It's like, be careful where your attention goes. Because even on social media or what you read, these types of things can steer you in kind of the wrong direction in life.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you're like, how did I get to this place?
Yes. Yes, a little bit of discipline can go a long way, to keep you on the right track and not get, there's even an app that if you're doom scrolling, it'll know that you're doom scrolling. And after you can set a timer, 10 minutes, it'll come up a notification. You've been doom scrolling for 10 minutes. Take a break, and I think that's super important. And to, filter in and filter out certain things, like filter in good, filter out bad, because it's impossible to do otherwise, right? To only filter in good. But yeah, like you said too, being focused on so many different things too, Speaking of, you mentioned one time about speaking to a famous mayor and how instead of being like a mile.
Okay, so
yes,
I'll tell you. So it was
take it away.
So I was at a lunch with famous mayor Dan Carter, the mayor of Oshawa. Dan's a pretty cool guy, and he's a very interesting person. So we were talking about. Honestly, I don't remember the exact subject, but he had said, oftentimes people go a mile deep into understanding an idea or a thought. He says, the better option is to go a mile wide, an inch deep. So when you go very broad and a wide spectrum of like what you're studying or what you're looking into and go an inch deep across, you start gaining like some different insights into all kinds of different areas of life. It's like your peripheral vision just expands beyond what you even thought possible because you're like, oh my God, there's something over here that ties into something over here and you can find some correlation. And it's like, it really is taking again, another ancient, I think it was Plato who may have said it, take a bird's eye view, a 10,000 foot view. People talk about this thing, looking at it from an angle way up above versus in the minutia of what science can do, a reductionist thing of like this exact molecule. It's like, hold on, that exact molecule doesn't exist on its own. You need all of this other stuff to correlate and to work together to make this thing work.
Yes.
So we often try to make it one certain thing. It's like, hold on, stop. It's not just one thing. It's a myriad of things. If you look at, for example, an idea of a tire on a bike, and you have all these spokes into the middle.
Yeah.
It's like pulling onto one of these things. They're all connected into one, but you have to look at it as a holistic thing. It does not live in isolation. Almost nothing does in life.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why it was pretty interesting to go a mile wide, but an inch deep across many different things. And there was an amazing book that he had talked about, I think at that time, or it was another friend that recommended this book called Range, Range.
Right.
David Epstein, I believe, is the author. And it talked about how if you just focus on one thing, again, I've already said it, your peripheral vision disappears. So even in science, people will focus on just one molecule, but by accident, something had happened. I was listening to another podcast about an incident where someone had left a petri dish overnight. And they forgot about it. And because they had forgotten about it in that situation, something magical happened outside. And they're like, oh my God, it was something to do with the longevity of certain cells or growth of certain cells.
Right.
But by accident, most of these things happen, right? And it was kind of one of these things that if you focus too much on like all the small little details, you'll miss out on these synergistic opportunities that just kind of happen by
Absolutely.
happenstance.
Yes. And I feel like that is so brilliant. Like in a time when I think people are a little bit lost and not knowing like how to just even live, right? Raising children and children going to school, especially, I think like that needs to be fit into their educational system in some capacity, whether that's at home from parents or ideally also in the school system too. Like we're not training factory workers anymore. We should be doing like more like community projects as opposed to being individually tested. I think it's heavily weighted like that, but see like how well can you work together as well too, right? Yeah.
Isolation kills.
Yeah.
It kills the human spirit, kills the human itself.
Wow.
No one succeeds alone. Period, man. Like we never grew up in isolation. Like isolation is fantastic at times to just recalibrate your own sense of self.
Right.
That's a different story.
Goosebumps everywhere.
Right? But like there are stories of people going on these long meditation retreats. There's the idea of 40 days in the desert. Because we tend to need to take an introspective look upon ourselves. But we don't necessarily take enough time. Like I'll tell you about that. I recently did, I think, February 14th, I did a 12-hour walk. So I live in Whitby. I walked from my house to downtown Toronto.
12 hours.
12 hours. The time horizon was the goal, not necessarily the distance.
Okay.
Yes. So to be walking for 12 hours without my phone, like without using my phone, without listening to music, without anything. I actually did not touch my phone. My phone was on airplane mode, but I kept it with me for emergency purposes. So I left my house at Whitby at about 5:30 or 5:49 was the time. And I set an alarm for 12 hours later. And I walked, and this was February 14th. I told my wife, I'm sorry, like I'm not celebrating Valentine's Day. I'm not celebrating Valentine's Day with you in the traditional sense. So I left the house, I packed my lunch, and I walked Highway 2 all the way to. I had a goal in mind to hit this pizza place because I was like, I really wanted this pizza. I didn't go for the walk for the pizza. I went for the walk for the isolation of myself without stimulus from my phone.
Nice.
So I wanted to challenge myself to see if I can do this. And I had a talk with one of our, he's a mentor of mine. I don't know if you know Larry Lloyd.
Oh, yes.
He's a legend amongst legends in the community.
Yes. We shoot Tracy, right?
Yeah.
In Mullen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do all the Canon Group's listings.
Awesome. So
Cool.
so Larry's a mentor of mine. 78 years old. The guy's going strong. It's unbelievable. And last night we talked about something that whenever we do challenges, it's kind of hard because Larry and I will just okay, you want a challenge? I'll do it and I'll win. I have that. I know myself enough that if you give me a challenge, I will do it and I will succeed, right? Just give me a goal, especially a shorter time horizons. The longer time horizons can be a little bit complicated. That take years or months to accomplish, but the shorter ones are pretty easy. So that 12-hour walk, I'm like, I got this. It's I walked out of my house fairly confident, not scared, nothing to worry about. I'm like, this isn't hard.
Yes.
I'm thinking, right? And maybe that's a little bit of hubris, coming in a little bit, but as I started going, I think I stopped my first time somewhere in Pickering. It was about 3.5 hours. I went into a bus shelter to try to just drink some extra water. My feet were hurting a little bit, but then I had sunflower seeds in my pocket that my dad had given me from Greece. So I was like, oh, I'll just eat some sunflower seeds. And my fingers started numbing. And I was like, oh my God, it's so cold.
Right.
Anyways, I kept going. But somewhere around the 8-hour mark, I'm like, man, this is getting kind of hard. Right. And I'm like, I know I can push through this. Hour 12 or hour 10 came by. I'm like, this is harder and harder. I had thought around that time that I had formed blisters on the bottom of my feet and that my blisters had popped.
Wow.
I thought there was the liquid that, the bubble. I thought that's what was happening to the bottom of my feet. But I'm like, this is okay. I can just keep pushing through. And I just kept going. And I was limping towards the end because my right ankle, something I had an injury 40 years ago or so on my right ankle, and it pops in every so often and comes back. So I was limping towards the end. But again, like I said to Larry, I'm like, I can push past these points to finish what I've started. A lot of people don't have that capacity to do that because they've never really done something hard in their lives.
Right.
If you've never done something hard, good luck when hard things happen to you.
Yes.
You don't have the wherewithal or the depth to be able to overcome some of these challenges.
Right.
Knowing that this moment, this too shall pass.
Yes.
That's one of the greatest mantras I've ever come across. This too shall pass. Everything is temporary.
Yes.
Happiness, sadness, life itself is temporary. So this moment will pass. And I'm keep thinking, I'm like, okay, it's going to be okay. I'll make it through. And there's a guy, Cameron Haynes. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a guy who runs 200 miles in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
He wrote a book called Keep Hammering. And he's one, and I watched him do an ultra race on YouTube. And he was his feet were blistered up, taping it, and he just kept going. There was no quitting. Wow. And I just kept thinking, if he can do it, I can walk for 12 hours. So I came to the end. I got, the end of the story was I made it to the pizza store 15 minutes before the time had expired. It wasn't quite, 12 hours. It was 11 hours and 45 minutes. I ordered the pizza and then I kept walking around just the block. But it wasn't even a walk. At this time, I'm limping, right? Just making it through. The time came across, it was 5:49 p.m. So I left 5:49 a.m., 5:49 p.m. I call my wife, and because she hasn't heard from me at all. So she has no idea where I'm at, what's going on, nothing. Right. I call her, and I broke down crying.
Yeah.
It was pretty emotional.
Wow. Huh. Wow, what a pushing to your limit. I bet you might have maybe part of your ancestry, perhaps that one Greek who ran marathons.
It was Alexander the Great, my great ancestor.
Yeah?
No, I'm just kidding.
But I wouldn't be surprised. But that's amazing, man.
Maybe there was something there. I don't know, but I think we all have that capacity.
Yes, it's just about committing to it, no matter how small.
Well, but I think you need to, and that's what Larry and I were talking about. I think you need to do small wins. You need to do something hard enough for these small wins to build up your I can't remember what I called it, but it's like you build up your worth. Like you can do this.
Yes.
Based on your history of doing all these hard things.
Yes. I'm really wishing I brought my hoodie that said "You are enough now."
This is
regretting it. I'm gonna have a picture get thrown up on the screen. I picked it up and I'm like, that'd be nice. I just went something normal, and that's beautiful, man. And actually, why don't we talk a little bit about your hoodie too?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know which camera. Can you see this? Let's see. Hold on. Stay there, dude. I got this. Everybody can see this, right? I got this.
Oh yes, very much.
Right?
Yeah. Do a camera check since wicked. Yes. So what? And thank you for being so like non-apologetic and like what I mean, like I in my mind I failed by not being brave enough to wear something like that. You did it though.
No, don't sell yourself short like that. It was just a quick decision. You in the morning when you were thinking about wearing that shirt, I picked up on your vibes. Like I said, I'm like, I picked up the vibe. I'm like, okay, I gotta wear this.
Totally, yes. There was a magnetic
connection there. So it's like in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Yes. I love it so much that I even got it tattooed here too.
Oh wow!
Right?
Oh jeez.
So there's this aspect about being kind. Now, again, I know I can push through certain things and I can be a little bit tough. In actually, as a parent, this is an interesting thing. As a parent, you need to figure out how to be strict but fair. There's this balance of this. Like you can still be very strict.
Yes.
And I don't want to say very. You can still be strict but kind.
Yes.
At the same time.
Right.
So in a world where you can be anything, you have a choice to be kind. And when you spread that kindness, you see how it goes. Like, now as my background, I was a realtor.
Yes.
I've been a realtor for 20 years.
Yes.
But now I'm also now the team leader and CEO of the Keller Williams Energy Brokerage right now. So when I take this kindness and I spread it out to people, it starts spreading like slowly but surely like fire in some ways. And this is how what we're supposed to do is just continuously spread kindness to everybody. So yeah, I wear this shirt in the sense of we have a choice. We can all choose to be kind.
Yes, that's true.
And when people don't choose kindness, I'm like, okay, like I get it. Like you're upset, something's gone wrong. Life is challenging. Yeah, it is. That doesn't mean you don't have to be kind.
Yes, right. It's so important too, especially in the real estate industry where the agent is the business.
Yes.
Right? Like at least like in my business, like the quality I can produce is kind of part of that equation too. But then we accelerate and do so well because we are always like customer service orientated, top of mind too. But as a real estate agent, like that's even more so because like you're pretty much your business and you're what you can produce as results.
So I'll tie this in. I don't know if your father ever told you this, but my father told me, I'll say it in Greek, "Καλύτερα να χάσεις το μάτι σου παρά το όνομά σου." Meaning, it's better to lose your eye than it is to lose your name.
Yes.
So we have a reputation, right? As realtors, we have a reputation as a person, as an individual. And I always think about this. It's like, my name is who I am too. If I can carry on continuously being kind, loving, like love is the answer. Like, dude, in my office, I have a mantra that I wrote on my office. It says, love everyone, serve everyone, be here now.
Nice.
So this is also a tie-in to someone who I like to follow some of their teachings. Ram Dass, who is a spiritual leader from the 60s and 70s and 80s. Like he was a guy that he's got a very unique history, but basically he spent time in an ashram in India, and he was with his guru. The guru's name was Neem Karoli Baba, and he had spent a year and a half at this time in India at an ashram, and Ram Dass was on his way back to the U.S. And his guru said, what message should I tell the people when I go back? So Neem Karoli Baba told him, love everyone, serve everyone, and remember God. So that's what the message was that Ram Dass brought back. Now, the word God can be loaded for some people, and it can be a very complicated relationship for anybody. They can use the word, and sometimes just saying that word, depending on who the person on the other side that's receiving it, it can mean so many different things.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I said, well, let's put be here now. And that be here now is to try to be present, which is also a tie into Ram Dass's book called Be Here Now. So I thought this was a
Nice.
really cool thing. So living your life by loving everyone and being in service to everyone, I think you find a different type of fulfillment. It's no longer about me and my ego.
Yes.
It's about being in service to other people. And, it goes back to a study of like, okay, if I give you $100, you have a choice now. Either keep it for yourself or give it to someone else. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
I think I've heard it. Yeah.
So basically, the people who gave the $100 were far it's not even a small number of like the happiness that they had received by giving
Wow.
was much greater than the person who just received it for themselves.
Yeah. Totally.
You can do that with love.
Yes.
You can do that with kindness. Just love everyone. Be
Yes.
kind to people.
Yes.
Like, it's not a hard thing, but people overcomplicate this because then they're worried about how someone else is going to think. And that's like, guys, stop.
Right.
Just love everyone,
Yes.
serve everyone, be present in the moment. And when you're there, man, I'm telling you, magic happens.
Yeah, this is amazing. Just like the magnetism that you can project on others to help combat what we see often during like a time like rush hour on the 401. I try to avoid that time at all costs, but
We all
sometimes you
do.
can't. But but also even just like getting an order of food or something, or being served anywhere. Like, there is a real thing of how well you respond to others, right? And by being your best self, by being so positive, it does make a difference.
So
Yes.
I'm going to tie into a couple different things.
Yes.
Between stimulus and response, there's a gap. And in that gap, you have a choice. So you can choose between the stimulus of being in the traffic or in the lineup and responding in that moment. So between the stimulus of being in this and responding, there's an opportunity for you to choose. But you need to have awareness that you have that choice. Sometimes people just say, well, this is just who I am. It's like, hold on, that's an excuse you're saying. Like, I will challenge you because that's not who you are. That's the choice, and whatever it is, the programming that you have had from birth or whatever it is. I don't care. I really don't care why.
Right.
But you have a choice in that in that moment.
Absolutely.
To choose differently.
Yes.
I still struggle with traffic. It's very hard in that moment that I was like, sometimes when my wife's like, would you like me to drive? I'm like, no, but thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're all trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know what? I get there and it's okay.
Yes.
I have like this claustrophobic thing. I just don't like being trapped in, and it happens to me in airports. I don't go to Canada's Wonderland where there's large crowds. I just don't feel comfortable because just too many people. Maybe it's an overstimulation of, but then recognizing this, I can choose not to be in this
Right. Yes.
moment. But going back to that thing about between stimulus and response, and you have that choice and giving love. I trained for a marathon in 2021. I went from never running. My wife had run New York City Marathon. She ran the Boston Marathon, or no, not Boston. She ran New York and Chicago.
Nice.
And she was training for another marathon. And I knew how much time it took to train for this marathon because she was gone a lot. And I was like, oh, man, she's my best friend, man. I don't want to be away from my bestie for too long. So
Right, yes.
I was like, you know what? I'll train with you. I won't run a marathon. I won't sign up for one, but I'll train with you just so
Wicked.
we can spend some time together.
Amazing.
And what was happening was I started slowly. I built up by, 3 kilometers 3 times a week, and it was just slow. That was so I ran them. Okay. I ran the marathon in October, but I started training in March. So 3 hours or 3 kilometers 3 times a week. And then I slowly started building upon that. And there's a whole program that gets you to train on this.
Right.
But I remember running a 10-kilometer race, and in my mind, this was very challenging. Like, this is so hard. Trying to push through this moment of discomfort was mentally a big obstacle. But what I did is, as cars were driving by on the road, I was wishing them love and happiness in their day.
Huh.
So I was mentally trying to put myself in a positive frame of mind. So I was choosing to either stay in my suffering or flip the script and choose to give love to people that I have no idea who they are. They're just driving by and
Wow.
giving them blessings and giving them love.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, it got better and easier for me because it stopped being about, it will never be over, the struggle. It's like, whatever it is, it's like, no, I'm giving love. And I did that on my 12-hour walk too. I was just like, I wish you peace and love today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we choose.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know you can choose this, you will stay in your suffering.
That's right. Yes, you have an amazing set of tools, a toolbox for people to learn and change and be different. And I'm so glad that, hopefully a lot of people hear about this.
Yeah, but they don't know they have that toolbox available to them.
Yeah.
And this is where it's like, okay, get together with people that are that are positive, and it's like, okay, I'll go back to another saying. My dad said it to me too. Like my father, extremely wise man, 75 years old.
Yes.
He told me, "Πες μου ποιος είναι ο φίλος σου, or πες μου ποιος είναι η φίλη και θα σου πω ποιος είσαι." Meaning, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are.
Nice.
This goes back to, any kind of saying and any ancient wisdom. All of these things have these sayings of who you surround yourself with, you become a product of that. If you're hanging out with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th smoker. There's so many of these sayings, and they're not new. But people I'm sorry, wake up.
Yeah.
You have a choice to be around people that are positive. Or you can choose to be hanging out with people who are negative and will suck you down. It's a choice that we have. So, but sometimes people just don't know. And I always talk about this. It's like the first step is awareness. If you are aware of this situation that you have a choice, then you're like, oh, I can choose differently? It's like,
Right.
yeah. You don't have a life sentence here.
Yes.
How many people have changed their lives? Whether they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80.
Yes.
There's a woman I just showed, I was having a conversation with someone at my office. There's a woman, her name is Joan. She's actually, some people will know her she's on Instagram. It's Train with Joan. She was like 68 years old, overweight, not very healthy. She just started training. Her daughter started getting her, and she's like 70 something years old, in shape. And it's like, it's never too late.
Amazing. Yeah.
But
that's very true.
If you have that awareness, you can make changes. That's the first thing, because
Right.
people are like, no, I'm too old. And then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
If you have that fixed mindset, there's another great book called Growth Mindset, I believe it is, by Carol Dweck. And it talked about, like, you have a choice to either have a fixed mindset, like, this is who I am and I cannot change, or you have a growth mindset that is like, oh, there's opportunities to grow and learn on this side. And the people who use that growth mindset, their life just explodes into so many different possibilities.
Yes.
But if you're fixated on one thing and you're like, nope, this is just who I am, it's like, all right, peace.
That's right.
I do not want those people anywhere in my life. I'm telling you, I'm pretty firm on, like, knowing to cut those things out of my life because you're going to drag me down to your level. I don't want to be there. But if you want to come up with me, let's go.
Awesome. Very good. Yes, that's so brilliant. I saw a photo on social media, and it said, 2 columns: try and don't try. And in the don't try, there's just a big X. And then in the try, there was another X, but also a check mark.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, awareness is number 1, like you said, and then trying and keeping with it too. Right.
But surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up, man.
That's right.
Like,
yes.
I try my best to surround myself with people that are trying to do something more in their lives. And it doesn't have to be a financial thing. I don't care.
Right.
But the fact that you are trying to improve your life, whatever it is, I've created book clubs in my office for one reason.
Nice.
We'll talk about the book club thing too
sure.
in a moment. But for the last 10 plus years or so, I've been trying to get back. I started getting back into fitness. So I'll tell you how this story, how it all began. So our kids were young, somewhere around, 5, 6 years old, somewhere around there,
Yes.
7. Couldn't remember their exact ages, but my wife started going to the gym, and I'm at home eating pizza and chips. I live near Little Caesars, and I would crush a Little Caesars pizza all by myself, right?
My favorite pizza.
It's easy. It's like
dish stuffed
amazing. Like it's the easiest thing to eat, and I could just eat like 2 of them a night, no problem. I could eat 2 bags of chips a night, and I was like, I'm now choosing to stay in this place. And then I started seeing Linda going to the gym. I was like, man, she's starting to look good. And I'm just like, I started getting worried because I was like, man, some young 20-year-old is going to scoop my wife now, right? And I started getting a little bit nervous. So I was like, I either can choose to sit here eating pizza and chips, watching TV at night, or start following her.
Yes.
Not following her, but being on the parallel path.
Right.
Right? Because like following is one thing, but being on a parallel path towards the same direction is another thing. So I started getting into fitness at that point. I started slowly getting into it. And then I joined into a fitness gym in 2016. I joined CrossFit. Right? So before that, I was just going to LA Fitness and just working out a little here and there. And I love watching UFC. I love combat sports. From the days of UFC early on. Me and my brother, as 2 rambunctious Greek little boys, man, we would try to give each other arm bars. We were watching the videos like, how do you do this? Okay, we're learning how to do a triangle based on, Hoist Gracie back in the early UFC days. So we learned how to do that. But anyways, the UFC trainers were doing this kind of CrossFit style workouts. So I was like, oh, this is interesting stuff. So my wife, she started getting into it. So I started getting into it. And I started surrounding myself with people who are trying to get fitter and make improvements in their life, whether it be through an aesthetic aspect of like how the body looks, or through a competitive sense of like trying to compete to try to do better every day, whatever the goal might be. So there are CrossFit competitions that you can sign up and do. Within CrossFit itself, there is a leaderboard. So you're competing.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm using that term lightly, competing on other people within the gym to try to, be the fastest person, lift the most weights, all these different elements of being number one. So it kind of pushes you.
Yeah, it's good to
towards,
have that.
Yeah, towards bettering yourself. So we started surrounding ourselves with these types of people, and I was like, oh my God. And then you start seeing how everything else in your life starts really getting better. Like your mental health is, I can't stress it enough. Mental health is not just your head.
Yeah, that's right.
Your head is connected to your body. It's one system.
Yes.
To think that your mind is separate from your body, but if you have an unhealthy body, your mind will be unhealthy too in some ways.
That's right. Everything needs to be balanced.
It does.
Kind of like an inch deep kind of is sort of parallel to that too. Can't just be like only be smart, only read books, So
you need to listen, knowledge without action is just entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay? You can read all you want to read, but if you don't put into action some of these things that you're learning and reading, what good is it?
That's right. And there's a chemical reaction too. The serotonin, dopamine
Sure,
that you
BDNF,
release,
man. Brain-derived neurotropic factor. Like our
Yes.
bodies are one system.
Yes.
And when you get into this health, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how good I feel about everything. The arrows of life start feeling less, like they don't hurt as much.
Yeah.
Right? And again, this goes to the pushing yourself to do something hard. When you're in CrossFit, you're doing these hard workouts, you're doing these hard things, and it's like, man, like the day's not so bad because I've already done some of the hardest things I've already done. Right? So having a healthy body, your mind tends to follow suit, right? But they tie in together. There is one without the other doesn't truly exist.
Right.
So doing these hard things, it's like, again, I did an ice bath, I think 4 months straight. I think I missed 7 days.
Right.
And I think it was 2021, 22, I can't remember, 2023. And I'm like, again, going back to the thing with Larry, I'm like, I can do these hard things. I've tested myself. So when these hard things come in life, I can overcome these things.
How was that? Cold plunging in like a tub of ice?
Yeah. Dude, I have tons of pictures of I did tons of cold plunging. My kids were doing it at that time, and the kids were little. It was like,
That's amazing. Cool.
So, and again, it was just like, there was a mental thing is like, I can do hard things.
Right. It's funny. Right now, what's top of mind is Miss Rachel, and so she literally says, "You can do hard things." so I just had to say that. Sorry,
but dude, this is what we need to teach our children.
Yeah, it's so true.
You can do hard things.
Yeah.
So when you overcome these challenges, it's like this is what builds resilience within oneself.
Yes.
If you've never done something hard in your life, when the hard thing starts happening,
oh boy, you're not prepared.
Not prepared. People collapse.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yes, that's a good point.
And I'm not trying to say like having a soft life, because this is a complicated thing. It's not like having a soft life, but testing yourself. Like you need to do this. And I think especially young men, young boys need to do these things.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to make this a sexist thing, because my daughter, like, I love her. She does hard things too. Man, this chick is like,
nice.
she's not a chick, but this girl is
yeah.
like does these tough things.
Of
Like
course.
she did like these cold plunges. She'd actually tried to do. She did I think 2 weeks straight of cold plunging.
Oh, wow,
And I remember one day it was like late at night. We had got home. We were out, and she didn't get it to do one in the morning. And she's like, "No, I'm going in." And it was like 11:30 at night. And she's like, "No,
Commitment.
I'm going." I committed. I'm like, I love this.
Awesome.
My daughter says to me, she goes, "You know, I want to do my 12-hour walk too." She's 15 years old, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, not alone.
First reaction. Well. Yes, I'm going to let her go alone.
Oh, wow, yeah.
She's 15 years old, but I have to say, she's like, "No, I'm going to go." And I'm like, "Hold on, stop just 1 second. Like, I just can't let you go without a plan, without organizing all these
excellent.
things." Mm-hmm. She goes and buys herself those air tags.
Amazing.
And she buys coyote spray, just in case. So she buys all these things. She's like, "No, I'm ready to do this." I'm like, "Oh, hold on. Okay, let's plan this out accordingly." Because the way I walked from Whitby to downtown Toronto, there was areas, like I took Highway 2 all the way down.
Yes.
There were areas of no sidewalk between Whitby and Ajax.
Right.
And then there was no sidewalks in Pickering as well. So I'm walking on the road in some instances where, traffic. It's
pretty slim.
Oh, yeah, man. It was slim and it was tight. So I couldn't I had to be extremely careful. So she wants to do this. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's map this out. You're not going in some forest anywhere alone or anything like this. She wanted to walk the waterfront trail to Toronto. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, I don't know about this, because there are areas that you'll be isolated. There will be no one around. And again, I'm like a little bit nervous, because again, as a parent, we want to make sure that we protect our children, but we also want to expose them to challenging things.
Yes, true.
There's a saying, do dangerous things safely.
Nice.
So you need to figure out how to do something dangerously, but do it in a safe way that no one's going to really get hurt. So anyways, that whole thing about her doing this 12-hour walk, I'm like, okay, great. Let's map this thing out, and we'll do it in the city where there's sidewalks and lights and things like this around lots of traffic. I don't want it to be done where there's a chance that... So anyways, this is kind of like what we're doing in these challenges. So yeah, my daughter is pretty amazing that she's doing this. And then my son goes, "Yeah, okay, I'm going to do a 12-hour run." And I'm like, he's trying to one-up this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on a second. Let's not do a 12-hour run, because it's a lot of preparation. How about we challenge something else? Like I love the fact that they're challenging themselves to do these hard things, because again, when life throws those huge arrows at you,
yes,
like you can take them. You're not going to collapse.
Yes.
That's building resilience.
Yes. Your kids are going to be leaders.
Whatever they do, I don't
or very good team players.
I just listen. Ultimately, we want these opportunities that every parent wants their children to be happy.
Yeah.
They want them to be resilient. This is what we want, right? So whatever they choose to do in their lives, they choose.
That's
right?
amazing.
I don't want. I'm like, listen, we are here to support you and help you. If you need guidance, we're here. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
And that's it, though. You're just guiding them the perfect way for them to make that.
That's it, because they have to get to the place on their own to do this.
Of course, yeah. That's true.
And we're just, listen, you and I, all parents, we're just farmers. We're planting ideas and seeds into their brains to allow them to grow. We're giving them opportunities to flourish, to let the seeds of those ideas or those things, beliefs, start taking root. And we're providing that soil for them so that they can grow.
Yes.
This is what we do, man.
Yeah.
And we do this for other people in their lives. So this whole, I'll tie it back into, I mentioned something about a book club. So the 12-hour walk came from a book club idea that I created at Keller Williams. What we did is, when I first took the team leader position, they threw a book on me to do, like, "Hey, John, my first week, you're doing a book club on the one thing, right, by Gary Keller." I'm like, okay, great. We'll do this book club thing. And Billy Conker was he's our co-team leader, and we did this together, the book club. And I was like, oh, this was great. And Larry was like talking to me about this other book called Inner Excellence. And I'm like, this is a really interesting book. Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. Amazing book. He's like, he just couldn't stop talking about this. And I was like, why don't we create a book club around this book?
Nice.
Right? So in the same framework, because the one thing had every week we would meet, there was questions, there was, it followed a certain structure. So what I did is I took Inner Excellence and I broke it down into 10 sessions. And within the 10 sessions, we would meet once a week. And then I was like, there's questions that we would ask. We'd have this big roundtable discussion, people exploring ideas and thoughts around this thing. So we did that thing with Inner Excellence. And then what ended up happening was we finished that. That was great. And then we took on another book called The Comfort Crisis. And the Comfort Crisis, there's an idea of a misogi. A misogi is a challenge that you do once a year that's year defining in some ways. So that's where the 12-hour walk kind of came from.
Nice.
From a guy who wrote a book called The 12-Hour Walk, Colin O'Brady. So this Colin O'Brady guy, I thought about him on my walk because he walked, the first man who walked across Antarctica, unmanned, pulling a sled, 357-pound sled across Antarctica, unmanned. He made it across. He was the fastest to make it across by himself. And to hear him do this story, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, this is painful. I'm like, Colin did this in Antarctica, like in snow that's blowing. And I saw some of the videos, amazing book. So these things grow from these ideas of other people. The people who have come before us have laid a roadmap, man.
Yes.
It's not
That's
hard.
Right. That's right. You're right. Yes.
Like sometimes I get frustrated because people are like, but I can't. It's like, hold on, you're choosing not to.
Right. And actually, that's a good question, if I may. Let's say someone is just extremely, let's say, busy culture. How can they fit something in? Starting spam call. How can someone start if they think that they're very busy?
It all depends on what goals they want to start with. What do you want to do with your life? Like, seriously, like you have to kind of lay a roadmap to what it is that you want. Like, let's take fitness, for example. A lot of people want to get back into fitness or want to get fitness or want to do these things and they don't have time. Guess what? These people who don't have time, what time do they go to bed?
That's right.
What do they do in their evenings? What time do they wake up?
Yes.
Okay, let's start there. So break this thing down. Okay, tell me what time you go to bed. Well, I can't get to sleep until 1 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I hear it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's like, okay, listen, you'll talk to Billy. Ask Billy what he's done with his life, how he's been able to turn his life around. Like, I'm so proud of what this guy has done.
He's working towards competing again or doing something.
It's unbelievable to see this guy who's in his 60s turning his life around.
Yeah.
So if someone's coming to me, it's like, okay, first let's figure out how to get you to bed earlier. So what are your evening habits?
Yes, right.
And you start slowly building those up because the evening habits can give you more time on the other side. So I'll just give you an example. I wake up at 5:10 every morning, right? Because it gives me enough time to do some reading. I actually do some work to catch up. I get to the gym at about 6:45, depending on what it is. So I always front load my workouts because the evening comes, I'm too tired to do anything else.
Fair point.
So
yes.
my brain somewhat shuts off after like 6 o'clock.
Right.
It's very hard for me to be cognitive, like really high level thinking in the evenings. So my high level thinking happens always in the mornings because after all this, my endorphins, whatever's happened during this workout, I'm amped up. I'm ready to go.
Wicked.
My mind is on fire.
Yes.
But in the evening, it slows down and it's time for sleep. So, there's a gentleman by the name of Andrew Huberman. There's lots of videos online that talk about, getting morning sunlight, drinking lots of water, sometimes delaying your caffeine intake, doing all kinds of different things to kind of help you. So
cool.
Let's go back to that person who wants to go to the gym. Let's slowly reduce the time you go to bed. And again, some people are like, I'm a night owl. It's like, oh, you're a night owl because you think you're a night owl. I'm telling you, we've evolved on this planet.
Yes.
With the sun going up and the sun going down.
Yeah.
In nighttime, we have all these natural lights that are around us that are somewhat emulating the sun.
Yes.
This blue light is a very hard light on our body. So our eyes are directly connected to our brains. Our eyes are the brain in some ways. It's a nerve cell directly on the outside of our skulls.
Right.
So we're getting that information. It's going directly into our brain. So it's a conversation around circadian rhythm, right? So the idea is like we have a natural system of wake and sleep. So when we see the morning sunlight, it's great for our eyes. Our cortisol levels start rising. The evening sun, as it's yellow, our cortisol levels start lowering and things like this. So there's a natural cycle.
True.
Lights have complicated this. TVs, phones, all these things have interfered with this natural signal our body is receiving. So trying to figure out how to reduce those things can get somewhat complicated for people.
Right.
But going to bed earlier would be the first step.
Yes.
and waking up a little bit early. And that will take a good 2-3 weeks, but sometimes people aren't committed to doing that time. They're like, well, I just can't. I tried for 2-3 days.
That's not enough. Yeah.
People give up so easily in life.
Yeah.
So I would say, whatever your goals are, if it's about fitness, it's about, trying to eat better, like there are steps available to you. Starting with your sleep is the number one greatest factor you can get to move the great. Like if you sleep deprive someone after like 7 or 8 days, they can have pre-diabetic markers.
Oh my. Right.
Yeah.
Oof.
So when you sleep deprive someone, it's so important to get proper sleep.
Wow. Yes.
So again, parents of newborn children, this is complicated.
Yeah.
Like, it gets easier. But
Yes. Yeah.
we have to have some grace in that moment, in that opportunity. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like
Right.
you have a child that this is the most important thing that you've like
Yeah.
created. This the birthing of a new life in this
Yeah.
world, man. The
Abby
greatest
is a little
responsibility.
bit. She's worried because now we're expecting our second October, early October.
Amazing.
Thank you. And she's terrified of going through like those first 4 months again.
Oh, yeah.
Our daughter was very colicky.
Yeah.
She's like, we were waking up every 30 minutes and sleeping in the rocking chair.
Yeah.
That was difficult, but they're like, this too shall pass. Is literally what she said. Actually,
I was going to say that right there.
She literally
It's
said that.
so hard, man.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
again, in those moments, you're like, this is never ending. It's like,
Yeah.
hold on. Like trying to remind yourself that this too shall pass.
Yes, and now it's like the best. It's so nice right now. We're waking up at like a cool 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And first thing we do is we bring her in.
Yeah.
She drinks a bottle, and this is ritualistic. Every single morning, she's like, "Dada," and she throws me the bottle for more, and so I go get another 3 ounces for her. And that's what we're doing right now. This is like every day for the past couple months, and it's very nice and just relishing in it. Really,
I tell you, really soak it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't wish those years away, those
Yes.
moments away. Do not wish them away.
Thank you.
Because, my daughter's 15 years old. My son is 17 years old. I want to, like, sometimes I'm like, man, I just want them just as babies, just for like an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you're in the moment, it's very hard to really
Appreciate.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing. I can say these words and intellectually you get it. I get but being in that moment, it's like, yes, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to bring that awareness, again, it all starts with awareness.
Yes.
This too shall pass. I will just do my best to just embrace this moment that I have.
Yeah, that goes both ways for hard times and good times too.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
good times,
Yeah.
right? This good time will pass. It's
Yeah.
not going to last forever.
Yeah, true.
You can't ride peak experiences forever.
Right.
You need a contrast of things, right? You need a contrast to appreciate all these things that you have in life.
Yes. Yes, very much.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I would start with especially getting to this thing of sleep. You're going to go through this challenge. It's going to be months of this. It's going to be hard. Give yourself some grace. Mm-hmm. It's okay. This will pass, and you'll be okay on the other side. It's a temporary thing.
Yeah.
But that challenge that you go through in the early stages of a child's life, the benefits that you reap on the other side are tremendous.
Yes.
They're unbelievable. Again, building that relationship you have with your children. Like I'd say a pretty tight family,
Nice.
right? We've tried to eat dinner almost every night together.
That's very good.
It's like the table. I think that goes back to our Greek culture in some ways.
Absolutely. We had dinner every single night at like pretty much on the dot, almost 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And it was great. A recurring dish was red pepper and rice,
Yeah.
and it's delicious. And we actually had that recently at Yayam Papoose, right? And it was so good. It was nice to be reminded of those childhood times. And it was kind of like business talk, like the dinner table, which was very good actually, because it was always interesting. It was never boring. So I feel like at the age of 18, I graduated with like an MBA because I heard of like all the good and all the bad and how they had always like customer service orientation at the top of mind, which kind of probably washed off onto me. And, just like how they solved problems, and hearing about things that they were going through. And as a husband, wife, co-owners of a company, and then, my wife and I co-owners of a company, and how we operate is very similar. So I feel like, like Greek culture and dinner time and the consistency is a great blueprint, that mindset to have, and lots of consistency But starting with awareness, I need more sleep, so get more sleep, and then everything else kind of follows. Tackle another thing, right?
Yeah.
And keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I think there's a lot of similar cultures that have that make the dinner table a priority. I think people underestimate that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They underestimate the fact that when you eat together, you share something special.
Yes.
Again, when you start isolating things, like that's a path to other, I don't want to call them mental challenges that you'll face, but you'll face a lot of other struggles in your life outside of this thing. Because again, you're isolating yourself, and it's almost like you have to fight this challenge that we're facing in North America with this isolation idea. It's like all about me.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, going back to how the school system teaches isolation too. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
and if you look back at the Greek culture, Italians are similar. A lot of the European, Southern
that's
European
true.
countries, because I'm familiar with the Northern European
Right,
countries where
yes.
my wife is originally from.
Nice, right.
And it's a very different type of culture.
Yeah.
And then you see a lot of Middle Eastern cultures as well. They have the food is such an integral part of the family unit.
That's right.
These are the families. These are this is the exposure I've
That's right. Of course.
come across.
Yes.
But I come across the my Swedish side of the family too, and it's like
Starkly different.
it is different.
Yeah.
It really is different.
But in
Now,
a way that works too, I guess, differently maybe.
to some extent.
Yeah.
Right. So they also have certain challenges. 2024 between 2024 and 2025, we spent Christmas there, and I had a lot of conversations with some of the people there.
Nice.
That was the second Christmas we've ever spent there, and I love Sweden. I love my in-laws. I love the friends that I have there too. And I had a conversation with my brother-in-law's wife, how the government has stepped in for the family unit in some ways. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's such a great thing, right?
Right.
So I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes.
but we need to help people. I'm like, okay,
Right.
you have to help people.
For
I think
sure.
we all need to help people. No
Yeah.
one succeeds alone in this thing. We all need to help somehow, somewhere, whether it be through our family, so on and so forth. But it's a very stark. Sweden has the highest rate of divorce in all of Europe.
Really? Oh, didn't know that.
No, it's an interesting statistic.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I'm like, okay,
kind of have everything else figured out, it seems, right?
you think.
Yeah.
Again, when you start digging deeper, again, we take things on the surface. Again, go an inch deep. Like, whether you're on the surface, that's fine. Go deeper. Find out kind of what's really kind of going on there. Don't take what you see or what you've read for face value.
Yeah, true.
That's a friggin'
That's very good.
Oh,
Thank you
Jesus,
for bringing
man.
that up. Yeah.
That will lead to so much of a disaster in life.
Yes.
So you start looking at it, it's like, oh, there's a lot about me and myself, not about us and the unit, especially when it comes to families. It's like, well, I need this time for myself. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, I understand we all need certain times for ourselves, but we have to have the big picture aspect of this life that we've just created called a child.
Yeah.
Again, not everybody's meant to be together and so on and so forth. Like, there's a lot of complicated situations, and I'm not trying
sure.
to, like, this is not a statement that one size fits
of
all.
course,
Like,
yeah.
please don't take this out of context. This is not, but for the most part, when you don't make that a priority as a family unit, things start breaking apart.
Yes.
And you start seeing it. The more that breaks apart of, like, have you heard of Dunbar's number?
Probably.
Okay,
but
so we are meant to
refresh.
live in 150. Like we know 150 people is like the max number of like
Gotcha.
people that
Yes,
we kind
definitely
of
have heard of that. Yeah.
from growing up in the sense of our tribes or
Yeah. And the internet totally, and transportation and everything else.
you have too many things to grow. But Dunbar's number is 150 people of what you know closely, intimately. Like you can't know
Makes
too
sense.
many more people in this thing. But there's a cohesiveness that happens within these smaller groups, right? When you're forming these little tribes of groups
Sure.
and stuff like that. But anyways,
yeah.
when you start, it's more about me and getting out of this thing. And it's like, oh, anyways, I lost kind of where I was going,
No.
I even brought
Yeah,
that
yeah,
up. But
high rate of divorce, and I think just like the differences and
it's too individualistic in some ways.
right.
And that's why I was like, you have to like think of the tribe or the greater picture or the bigger
Right.
idea rather than just myself
Yeah.
and what I want and need right
Yeah,
now.
and I guess the government just helps too much to not let them kind of figure it out themselves. Is that kind of what it is? Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know, but I see like that's just I'm correlation causation. I don't know.
Yeah, fair point.
I
Yeah,
don't know, but
like
this is just an observation I had seen. It's all about like, I need a sick day. I need a mental health day. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Uh-huh.
But you also need to push past that too, because that's where resilience comes in too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I think we're heading in the opposite direction.
Uh-huh.
It's a weird thing to see the spectrum of where we're going in life.
Yes.
So I don't know what the right answer is.
I love that you say that too, because I remember when we had our first phone call, and you're like, "Oh my God, are you close to sun right?" We had a phone call. It was great. And I had commented. I said, "It sounds like you have everything figured out." Because in my eyes, like you do. It seems like you do. But you were like, "No one. I'm always learning. I'm always figuring things out." I don't think anyone can say that, which is absolutely so true too. So it's very humbling to be able to be like, "I don't know." If you don't.
Okay, how old are you?
30. I'm going to be turning 34 April 4th.
Amazing. I had my second child at 34. So we're going to be very similar in the
Oh,
sense
nice.
of where we were
Amazing.
in life.
Yeah.
And again, where we are in life. This is a fascinating thing that blew my mind while I'm on my 12-hour walk. I always need to know where I am in time, in space-time, where I am in like the physical space, where I am in the time.
Yes.
I'm always wanting to know. So I can now relate to you. You say I'm 34. I draw an instant like, 34. I had my second child, my first one at 32, so on and so
Nice.
forth.
Yeah.
So then it brings us to a different connection. So the reason why I ask you where you are, your age, if we have always had elders in our community from the beginning of our time. What we are dealing with right now, modernity, these modern times of the last 100 some odd years,
Yes.
is new.
Yes.
We've never had it to this extent.
Right. Shaking the foundations of what is used to. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like we've now taken our elders and put them into homes.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is unfortunate because it's like, and I'm not saying live with your grandparents. And like it has to, like we have to really live in the modern times, but remember that our elders are here to teach us and pass down wisdom.
Yeah.
What you and I are doing as parents, as fathers, we're passing down the wisdom of our mistakes from our parents and so on and so forth. And we keep passing this down. So it is very, very important to have someone in your life, an elder that you can go to and speak to and ask for some advice.
Amazing. Absolutely.
Now,
Yes.
that elder can be 10 years. It can be based like a wise person that has a wealth of experience. Like at 34 years old, I'm sure there's other people around that have this depth of experience in their life that you can look to based on, hey, I did this in my life at this age.
Yes.
Right? Or someone that's like 10 years older, 30 years older, 40 years older.
Right.
When you can look at life like this, you have an opportunity to grow and learn from other people's mistakes. Now, you have to still make your own mistake, but now you have this potential awareness. Oh, there's a pitfall coming up ahead of me. I remember they told me about this. I am aware of this now. Now I can circumvent this.
Yes.
You're not doomed to make the same mistakes over and over again. You have an opportunity to avoid those same mistakes. But just as long as you have that awareness and you can grow from those opportunities. So you don't have to repeat the same mistakes, but you still have to walk the path.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. From an individual level, and I think as a macro societal level, I think I really hope that's where we go. I think like the past decade or so has been very confusing, especially with like heavy social media use, and it's just muddying the mind and we're all confused. But hopefully
Well, you can go back to the ancients.
Yes. Yeah.
They had muddy times.
Yeah.
They dealt with a lot of these things.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yes, we have new things coming up. Guess
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
The printing press was new. Socrates said the end of knowledge when we started writing, for God's sakes.
Right. That's a good
It's
point.
the end of society. We're writing things now. We are no longer thinking.
Memorizing. Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm telling you, we
Yeah.
are so short-sighted. We do not look to the past. People have gone through these challenges, man. Sometimes I'm like, hold on, this thing that you're going through is a mental suffering. You're choosing to suffer. You're choosing to stay on the phone.
Right.
I don't need this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm addicted. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like,
Of
how many
course,
people have
yeah.
been addicted to whatever it was in their lives?
Yes, that's true.
There's ways out, guys.
Yes, yes.
But like, I'm telling you, like sometimes just like look to the past, look to our elders. There's wisdom in this world. We just have to open our eyes. We have to listen.
Yes.
We can't say, no, I can't. Well, you don't understand. It's like, well, I don't understand exactly. I'll tell you something. We're moving into a new book.
Amazing.
I'm changing this subject a little bit here because it will tie in a little bit to what. So I've created these book clubs going back to the Misogi. We did the Comfort Crisis.
Right.
We finished it, closed that chapter. Now we're getting into a new book starting next week.
Sweet.
Called The Art of Spending Money. So within the first chapter of The Art of Spending Money, it starts off with a saying, and it says, with enough information, we can understand all behavior. So with basically, if you can understand the information of the individual person, you can understand the behaviors that they're doing. So you can still choose to change that dynamic of who you are. Like we have opportunities to read and grow. But if you read and don't do anything with this, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And that's true insanity.
That's true. Yes.
Right? So people have come before us. We have all these books that we can read and we can gain this information. But if you don't open your mind to even exploring these ideas, and you're coming to me complaining about all these things that are going on, it's like, well, you're choosing your suffering. I'm sorry. Like I'm pretty firm on these ideas. It's like choose differently. So I hope I'm not coming across harsh.
No,
because
that's
it's
amazing. That's good. You need to be a bit harsh. You need a bit of discipline.
A little bit.
Yes.
But modern times, like okay.
And you don't need to read either. You can listen to audiobooks or podcasts and get knowledge that way.
Dude, I was listening to books. I had to be
Sorry,
careful.
keep going. I'm going to check that camera.
Yeah, I had to be careful with listening to books because I can listen. My podcast I listened at 2 times the speed. I made sure with audiobooks I actually listened to it at like 1.2 times the speed. I tried to listen because again I realized that someone had put so much more time into this versus a conversation that's happening right here that doesn't take like years of research and we're just talking here.
Right.
But a book someone has spent a very long time to get it to the point of being published or someone reading it. So
very true.
I respect that a little. I give that more credence and reverence in that sense versus the
podcast banter. You can listen faster.
Unless you're Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, where you're going deep into.
Wicked.
Dude, some of these podcasts that are out, they're deep.
Sweet, awesome. Yeah.
So those are amazing.
There's a lot of really cool history ones, like one about the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
like there's really cool ones actually, and yeah, a few cool books I've listened to because I do so much driving. I'm doing like 60,000 kilometers a year driving.
That's crazy.
So I average about a book a 3 weeks or so.
Beautiful.
The latest one is a Hugo Award-winning one, really cool, The Tainted Cup. Pretty fun. That's more of like a fun book.
Yeah.
Upcoming is the entire ensemble cast of all the Harry Potter books, full cast, like different voices, different talent. Voicing it. I've only read like 1 or 2, so that's like a reason for me to like listen to all of them.
Amazing. I love it.
But yeah, no, there's other ones too, like what's it called? I'll come back to it, but it's like it's a very tough Greek name actually, and then it's like a trap. Here it is. Lucidity's Trap.
Okay.
Lucidity's Trap is about 2 warring nations or 2 powerful nations that inevitably will potentially go to war. But that's what happened with Athens and Sparta, and so people compare that with China and the U.S., of course. But there are ways to escape it and it not be inevitable, right? Anyway, there's so much knowledge that people can gain from just listening and coming up with their own opinions, right? Like nothing, like, I think you said it earlier. Just because you hear something, it doesn't become gospel. You can filter it. You can come up with your own conclusion and see how that fits into your world too, right?
And dig deeper, because there was a time when I was like really influenced by what I saw and read, and I was like, because you can get it's depending on what you're doing. There was a documentary called Forks Over Knives, and that really got me. I was like, oh my God, I need to be vegan now.
Oh yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I bet.
But then I realized, I was like, this is, I didn't realize, but this is like almost like propaganda based on, and I was like, whoa. I just like lifted the veil. I'm like, okay. So, and that was like an eye-opening thing for me to realize that who is publishing the information has oftentimes an agenda that they want to highlight certain things that they believe,
Yes.
and belief is a very complicated thing. I've always found belief a very, very powerful tool.
Yeah.
And an interesting
Yeah, of course. A strategy, if you will, or a tactic.
Sure. So if you can get someone to buy into something like this. So
Yes.
again, forks over knives. I'm like, oh, I got to be vegan. I got to do this.
Right.
And I started doing this. It's like, oh, and then it's like, well, there's this and this. It's like, oh, they didn't tell me about that part. So try to get as much information, but then again, it gets complicated.
Yes, of course.
I had a conversation yesterday with a guy when we were talking about you can overcomplicate certain things because they say, oh, don't do this, don't do that, take this, take that, and it's like, okay, man, you can take everything out of context and be afraid to try to do anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't eat that, eat that, don't touch this, touch that, and it's like, and then we can get sort of lost. But
Yes. I think simplicity is important.
So-
minimalism and simplicity, because like one thing, like I was really interested in polyphasic sleeping, which is like you can sleep 30 minutes 4 times a day, but spread it out.
Yeah.
And then you can gain 6 hours a day from your life. And it's like, I was like, I'm going to be like Batman. I'm going to educate myself in those waking hours. But then reality hits and it's like, that's not only incredibly difficult to do, and it's just not worth it. But so simplicity is just sleep 7-8 hours, and there's no negotiation around that. Like just do it.
go back to the ancients.
Yeah.
Go back to the people 200 years ago, 300 years ago. They figured this stuff out, man. We're overcomplicating life.
Absolutely.
We are so overcomplicating it. And that's where I think a lot of suffering does come down to. It's like there's an interesting, again, I believe it's an ancient Stoic, and I don't know if it was Seneca who said it, but it says we often suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. Because here, how about this? This is my suffering. I'm going to give it to you. Can I do that?
I don't want your suffering.
But can I physically do this? Can I physically give you my suffering?
No, I guess not. Right.
No. I can't. I physically cannot give you my suffering.
Right, of course.
Where is my suffering?
Inside.
Show me.
In the head?
I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the suffering is contained within me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, it's like we have choices here.
Yes.
People are figuring they say I have no choice. I will challenge you. I think you do have a choice.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And if people think they're too busy, I love sayings too. And one is, there's someone busier than you doing it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Guaranteed 100%. If you think you're too busy to do it, no. There's someone many times busier than you that's also doing it.
So this will play into the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this? There
4-minute mile.
So there was an idea of like no one could run faster in the mile could not be broken in 4 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
It's very difficult.
extremely difficult. It was people often said impossible. And then what happens? Someone breaks it. And then what happens? Someone else breaks it, and other people break it, and it keeps going.
Amazing.
So this goes into the same thing that someone you can see other people busier doing this too.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Like someone has done it before. Like they've laid it out, man.
Yeah.
Like
That's awesome.
just follow that path.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully this is a good platform for, like, I guarantee for sure there's going to be, who knows, maybe this will be studied.
I don't know, man.
Or even at least just someone to be like, that's a cool book. And then, it leads to a chain reaction of like reaching 100 people.
All I care about is people like having an there is no life sentence, man.
Yeah, true. Yes.
People are like, I can't do this. And they're just like, cross their arms. Nope, I'm done. And I can't. And it's like, okay. If you sit there and say, I can't,
Yep.
I can't help you. You've already like put yourself into prison.
You need to be able to help yourself, of course.
But if you're sitting there saying, hey, like, I need some help, like point me in the right direction.
Wicked.
You
Right.
still need to like find your own path.
Yeah.
But we are guides helping each other. We are all stewards of life.
Yes.
So your experience has taken you to this point, and you can look back at someone who's in their 20s,
Yeah.
in their late teens, and you can sit there and say, hey, I kind of was there. Here's something that helped me, whether it be going through school, relationship, work, whatever it is. You have an opportunity to pass that knowledge down to someone else.
Right.
And we just keep doing that.
Yes. That's
Always
right.
in service. I'm telling you, always in service. That was a big thing with your parents teaching you that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah. Yeah. It was a good upbringing for sure. And I'm excited to do, what I consider is going to be 2.0 version of
Can you
that.
read that?
I'm pretty good with reading. So wait. Philotimo? No, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Philotimo.
Philotimo. Okay.
Philotimo is an ancient Greek word that is not easily translated into English. There is no direct word of philotimo.
Okay.
It is, in the breaking up of it is like the friend of honor. So what our parents instilled into us is philotimo.
Uh-huh.
I'll send you a video of this, and then it'll be
Cool.
like,
Thank you.
oh my God. It makes sense of my upbringing and
Nice.
what we do and how we are in service of other and helping people. You know, there's a thing called philoxenia, which is the friend, like is being a friend of a foreigner, like an outsider. Like
Yeah.
you're
Right.
Greece is one of the most hospitable, like the hospitality in
Yes.
Greece is
Oh, yes.
unreal.
Yes.
And it goes back to ancient times. Zeus was the god of hospitality.
Oh. Huh. Not just thunder.
No, not just God, not just thunder and lightning.
Yeah,
But he would often disguise himself. And again,
Right.
these are amazing. I keep going back.
Yes.
There are amazing stories of wisdom that has through all cultures.
Yes.
Every single culture on this planet has stories to help us live our lives. They're guides.
Yes.
It can be through mythology. It can be through religion. But they're there.
That's
Open our
right.
eyes. Open our ears.
Yes.
Open our minds. They're there to help us. But Zeus would dress up, often disguise himself as an old man and knock on people's doors. And the people who brought him in and helped him and served them food and gave him rest and stuff like that, he was good to those people. The people who turned him away, he would kill them and do all that bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's ingrained within our culture. Like, you want to be good to the Xeni, the people who are not Greek.
Of course.
And that's why it's that's why Greece has got, it's ingrained within
That's
them
awesome.
to be
Yeah,
so
that's
hospitable
great.
in there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's good. And I think that's important to fit in. Like, there is probably like a blueprint to live your best life, and maybe like a loose blueprint, perhaps.
I would say loose, yeah.
Yeah, and what one thing is to give for sure
Yeah.
in some capacity, like that $100 bill that you brought up earlier. What is your $100 bill? And it doesn't need to be a financial thing. It could be anything. Even just listening to, someone. Whether that's someone sitting on the street or someone who's super busy, corporate CEO boss that's busy. Anything in between as well too. Just listening to people and because it's so people can't talk to their closest people too. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger too. Sometimes too. I think my way of giving is like, for instance, you asked about this bike. Actually,
I was actually thinking about that just now.
Yeah.
Oh, you picked up what I was thinking. That was awesome,
That's
man.
funny. There is, I think science will one day prove there's magnetism that can be broadcast. I'm sure. Intuition.
I am totally yes.
Probably. And so I call there's a term called syzygy that's kind of like that. Like, some people have stronger syzygy. It's sort of like synergy.
Okay.
It's a real word, syzygy. Check it out. And so anyway, this bike here, this is from the Wounded Warriors, is a charity that
know Wounded Warriors.
Amazing, wicked, cool. So yeah,
We did charity stuff at CrossFit Oshawa.
Oh, sweet, amazing, wicked. So we're partnering with Wounded Warriors.
Come on,
We're
okay.
we're offering them this space. We actually, yesterday we you can see the tire tracks.
Yeah.
We filmed a promo video. We're going to be doing April, I believe, 26 and 27, whatever weekend that is, Saturday and Sunday, full days, like basically 12-hour days. We're going to do 15 minutes each. People are going to bring their bikes in, photo shoots. Starting donation of $50 or more if you're more generous, right? Which I'm sure people will be. And just all money goes to Wounded Warriors, obviously, right? So yeah, we have like a potentially an awesome fashion photographer that's going to be part of it.
Amazing,
I'd love
yeah.
to take some photos. The gentleman that works for Wounded Warriors, Matthew, is like legendary in lighting. He is like incredible. He has a background with film in the industry and everything too. And so giving is super important, whether that's like us, I think it comes down to, if you ask, what can I do? Who am I? What do I do? I'm a storyteller.
Yes.
And so my pen, though, is just the camera. And so I'd like to tell other people's stories, at least, if that's all I'm able to do, right? Which is still good, of course. But so telling the story of doing this charity event and then helping those very well-needed people that helped protect and serve us, whether it was in the military or police officers or et cetera.
All of it, yeah.
Right? So there's just like something so close to my
I
heart.
love it.
Yeah.
You're providing a platform for this storytelling to occur.
Yes.
That is the greatest human invention, is storytelling. Again, this goes back to
Yes.
all the ancient wisdom that has come across before us. I don't know how we cannot tie that all into. What you're doing is providing a platform and an opportunity for someone to tell their story.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Because everyone has a story to tell.
Everyone.
Absolutely. Yes. Everyone's life could be a movie for
Yeah.
sure if done right.
100%.
And so because of that, like it's like an award-winning Oscar. Yeah.
So let me ask you. So when you watch a movie and you connect to the character, you connect to this thing, you're like, I can see a piece of this, or I can understand. You have compassion and understanding of this person going through these challenging times. We can do that in a day-to-day basis.
That's true.
When we connect with people.
Yeah.
Not just in the movie. I recently watched Hamnet. I don't know if you saw.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't yet, but I know of it.
Dude, I watched it 2 days ago.
Nice.
And it was very hard for me to, I cried.
Oh,
It
yeah.
it was beautifully done. It was like,
Yes.
I
Awesome.
could feel a good movie. You know, a good movie's done a great job when you can,
Oh yeah. You're
Feel.
immersed in
yes,
100%.
when it can take you somewhere away. Those are the beautiful movies.
Yes.
But that's, again, it's a storytelling that allows for a connection. We have an opportunity to do this when we sit down and we listen to someone. When you and I talk, we connect. We're sharing stories, sharing
Yes.
ideas. I bring this up often. My son told me once, he says, if you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange apples, we both have one apple. But if you have an idea and I have an idea and we exchange ideas, we now have two ideas.
Wow.
So this is the thing about storytelling and sharing.
Uh-huh.
This is an opportunity to give and take.
Yes.
When someone comes into my office and tells me the challenges that they're going on in life, and I'm just like, man, that's like, it's deep and heavy. And I'm
bet.
there to listen and try to do my best to just hold space for people.
Yes.
They're telling me a story about their lives. I'm honoring their story by listening.
Yes.
And I can feel their pain sometimes. And it's very hard because, you know,
I bet.
there's a thing I often think about, and I struggle with these terms oftentimes, like something called suicidal empathy,
Right.
where you can empathize so much with someone so deeply
Yes.
that you're willing to, like,
Well, there's a
almost-
book written by God Sod. I may have butchered that name. He literally wrote a book called Suicidal Empathy,
So
where it's
I-
like
I guess
you
that's
have
where it comes
too
from.
much empathy.
Yeah.
It actually is a little bit harmful in some ways.
detrimental in
Yes.
some ways. So that's why it's always like empathy is like I loosely play with that word because I don't know. I'm like, empathizing is. They say it's important. Again, I struggle with this because I don't know. I don't know enough.
I
People will say-
heard sympathy is also a good term. It's
Yeah.
it's
And
it gets too
compassion.
much bad rap. Yeah. So it's like a mix of all these things.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
is.
to have.
But it's important to just listen and I want to say empathize, meaning like I want to be able to sit with that person and hear what they're saying. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to if I'm empathizing someone who's on a sinking ship and they're not willing to help themselves, I'm not going down with that ship.
No, you can't empathize then. You can't. Well, not too much. Not to the point where you're going down to.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like I have to guard myself in some ways.
Yes.
So that's with that idea. So I'm fairly apprehensive in that.
So that's why sympathy actually works in that way too. Then, like it gets too much of a bad rap, but it is useful.
Yeah.
In some circumstances, to be shielded by the negative effects of that. I think that's what I heard something somewhere.
So when you sympathize or when you have compassion for other people, you are offering them a potential for a lifeline if they're listening, if they're willing to listen. If you're empathizing, I think you often don't have an opportunity to help them or guide them outside of this thing.
That's a good way to put it.
Right? That's the way I think about it.
Yeah.
But sympathy and compassion, if they want, they can like you can throw them a line.
Yeah. Wicked.
That's the way I see that.
That's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, time is the greatest measure of being able to connect with others. Like if we had the 2-hour movie length to connect with everyone, which sometimes we do, we can connect with people then. But obviously when you watch a movie, you can easily connect, especially if you're not needing to communicate back. You're getting it all right.
Yeah.
But like, so treating everyone like they have a Oscar award-winning worthy story to tell, which they do.
Yeah.
And it's just about connecting with them on levels that you can connect with, I guess, really, Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Yeah, this is great. This is so good. Couple fire rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So, Greek dancing.
Yes.
Did you travel for that?
No,
no.
it was only done here locally. I don't know
Gotcha.
if I ever did a show in Toronto, maybe, but for the most part, it was during Fiesta Week or whenever we would do like a celebration of like one of the, Ikusipemti Martiu, which is like 25th of March, or the Ohi Day in October. And any panigiri that we would do or festival,
Nice.
we would dance for those
Wicked.
things.
That's so cool. Awesome. Yeah, and so like myself, I was always like no one wanted to do soloing Zambekiko, so I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
With like the shot of Uzo.
Of course,
and
of
then
course.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was my jam.
Dude, does it ever still, like those days, like I can still hear Zambekiko.
Yes.
And I just like, ooh.
Yes. What's the men's national dance where I forget what it's called? I forget.
Samiko?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't want to be totally
Yeah,
wrong.
no.
And where like you like throw
Yeah,
in the air.
we used to have I'm going to throw out the name John Cronus, who was always the guy at the front when we were growing up. He would do he would jump up and hit his both feet. Bam,
Yes.
bam. And it was like, it's amazing to see
Oh,
this,
so much
right?
fun.
But it's
Yes.
like, there's something about Greek music itself.
Very is a sense of pride.
It is powerful
Yes.
stuff, but you
Yes.
cannot listen. I follow this Instagram account that this woman will take Greek songs and translate them into English, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, cool. But when you try to translate, it
lose it,
doesn't
though.
work.
Yeah.
You lose a little bit. But the depth of like the passion of the Greeks,
Oh yes.
dude, it's deep.
Yes.
So people say I have a lot of passion. I do. I have a passion for life.
Nice.
I woke up this morning
Beautiful.
and it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, thank God I'm alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
What a gift.
Yes.
I have to be alive. I lost a friend who was 47 years old.
Sorry, man.
It's okay, but he never even had a chance to live, man.
Yeah.
He would do anything for a fucking snowy day. Excuse my language.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's almost like, yeah, it's snowing.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're alive.
Yes. Very much. It's a good thing.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. Yeah.
But we're fairly passionate people, the Greeks. And I
Yes.
see this. They're passionate about their soccer,
yes.
football.
Right.
They're passionate about their politics.
Yes.
They're passionate about their opinions.
Uh-huh.
They're very, very passionate people.
Yeah. And I think in a decently healthy way.
Hey, listen, it swings both ways,
Yeah,
man.
that's
it
true.
swings both ways.
That's a good point.
But yes, the Greek music is deep.
yes. Very much. Like the love songs.
The
and stuff.
love songs.
Like in the past couple decades.
Oh my God!
Like there's so many. Great.
I cannot live without you. I'm going to kill myself. And
Yeah.
all these kind of. It's like I was like, holy smokes, man! They're
Yeah.
really deep into
Yeah,
love.
man.
But
yeah. Actually, going back to storytelling again, there was something I was going to mention. I feel like there's an element of selling a story in real estate, believe it or not. And
Sure.
on the surface, that sounds like a lot of business. But I think as real estate agents, and actually, by the way, I am a real estate agent with the Nook Realty. I totally forgot to
Yeah.
mention that. And maybe I think you knew
Yeah,
that.
I knew-
Actually.
yeah.
Yeah, you did. And I did that only because as like just in case AI replaces my job, which sounds ridiculous, but it's not entirely.
Replaces which part of your job or which job?
Specifically, so photography, media.
Okay.
Specifically, how easy it can become. Now, veterans in the industry are going to see the value of a photographer, no matter how easy it is to create content. But you can kind of look at examples of what AI has already done. You can literally click a button, it makes a website. You can do a lot of things now where, and specifically, this is where I'm a little worried, where you can take photos from a phone, upload it to an app, and it comes back spitting really nice photos. And that's coming. I know it's coming. I'm a very good predictor in these things, a couple years ahead. I know it's coming.
99% of predictions don't come true.
I hope so.
Go on.
I hope
Just want to remind you of this.
I hope so. But I became an agent too because I love actually, like, I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's kind of like a side quest, and it
Yeah.
may become something more fuller after that potentially. And for my own investments and purchases myself, I think it's great. But storytelling for real estate itself. You are literally storytelling a property, right?
100%.
Like from the photos to the price you're putting it up to. And everything that we were so passionately talking about with storytelling can relate to a real estate agent, telling that story to the listener, which is the potential buyer, to come and buy that piece of history,
Correct.
which is the property.
Correct.
And actually, there's an amazing example. I'm on a, and the reason why I got my real estate license was because I'm on a mission to upend commercial industry itself, not the large stuff, but small things, small commercial units like this, and businesses and retail, right? Not so much the leasing, the for sale stuff, because too often you see a photo outside and that's it. And most of the time, that's all you're able to do, unfortunately. And I understand, right? But what I've done, I created a bunch of content, video and photos with Healthy Meats downtown Whitby.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Oh,
Okay,
wicked.
yeah.
Awesome. So before, and this is not a knock on anyone at all, but all they had was a couple photos outside. So I reached out and I said, I want to make a bunch of content for this person. And I got the seller, Paula, to speak on camera.
Yeah.
And she was so exhilarated to speak on camera. She's like, I've been the owner for almost 25 years and it's time for me to sell. And that's so there. The reason of why you're selling is not stigmatic anymore. There's no stigma behind it. This is why I'm selling. It's not because the business is bad. It's a great business. I'm going to Thailand for 6 weeks to go see my daughter. That's what she said. And it can run on its own. It's an absentee business.
Yeah.
And I've got employees in place and everything's really good. I'm just ready to sell because I don't want it anymore. I'm ready for
Life changes.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And so when you get the seller on board, to not be too careful with, I don't want my customers to know. They're gonna find out when you sell your business, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like a Wimpy's for sale right now. And in Coburg.
You can embrace this. Like
Yes.
you're selling. It's like, hey,
Yes.
I'm excited to sell my
Yes.
property. I've put so much
Yes.
love into this thing and
Exactly.
passion
Yes.
that it's time to give it to someone else.
That's right. Time for me to hang up the cape and give the key to someone else.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a local community hero that wants
Love
to
it.
pick up where I'm leaving it off.
Yeah.
And so that's my mission of becoming a real estate agent and mixing in my ability to do media and tell people stories and to sell their specifically businesses and commercial businesses. 'Cause
Amazing.
We're also in a very unique time where many boomers, sorry, that's a bad term, but you know what I mean.
Who are the boomers?
Boomers.
Are they older than me, right? Or am I a boomer?
Older than you.
Okay.
Yeah. No. We're like retiring, right? Not Gen X, the next one.
Am I Gen X?
I don't know.
I don't even know. Like sometimes I'm like, we give terms, we give words.
Oh, God, like,
we give meaning to words that have a depth, and if
All right.
you don't know what that depth is, it's like,
Yeah, I don't
okay.
even mean it in a bad way. I just mean like that. So what I should really say is the people retiring and giving up their businesses or selling them. There's no legacy plan. The kids don't want it, and that's fine. They don't need to have.
The
They
vast
don't need to
majority
want
is
it.
like that.
They don't
Vast
need to want
majority.
it. I don't really want Proclean either.
Yeah.
And so
I created this for you, son, and you're not taking it. You don't know
Yeah.
how many fish and chip stores have been started by Greek people that their kids don't want it. Don't worry, I get it.
I bet.
So go on.
Like maybe if there was an amazing manager in place, and then I'd just be more of like
Overseer.
Yeah, but I don't know if that really works anyway. You kind of want someone to run and own anyway. So yeah.
Passing that on.
Yes,
the torch.
we're in a very unique position where there's going to be, and it's already begun, but a massive wave of businesses that are going to come up for sale, and many of them are gold mines. This is the next gold mine rush, I think, is businesses, and the next generation is prime opportunity if they can play their cards right. And
Agreed.
Gobble up these businesses or buy one and
Absolutely.
I think so. So we'll see how that theory plays out.
Nicole Tanner is at our office, and she is a commercial
Nice.
agent.
I'm familiar.
Are you familiar with Nicole?
Very.
She's amazing. So
Awesome.
Nicole came to me. She goes, John. She goes, I want to start a legacy series of a podcast with some of these, just like what you're. So
Amazing.
So you need to.
That's
okay.
very good.
You
Yes.
need to connect with Nicole
I will. That sounds amazing.
because
yes.
she's talked about this story about trying to connect. A gentleman, Paul Mackey, I think the guy's
Amazing.
name is. Not the agent, Paul Mackey, the owner of Mackey Moving Trucks and
Senior.
stuff like this.
Paul
Senior.
Mackey Senior, the father.
The father. Is it the father, grandfather? I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. Actually, yeah, you might be right. I'm not
So
totally sure.
he has a story to tell of what he's done in this community. And she wants to highlight his story.
Well, that's very good.
It's amazing.
Excellent. Yeah.
So her heart is like, this guy has done so much for the community.
Yes.
We need to tell his story so
Yeah.
he can pass that along. We started with this as a conversation. in the legacy aspect of it.
Nice.
Nicole wants to do this with it. So you and Nicole need to get together.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. Yeah. And we shoot Paul Mackey's stuff, The Sun.
Yeah, Paul's awesome.
Yeah, he's super cool, dude. And then, so they have the Harley Davidson store.
Yeah.
And we're going to absolutely, like, that's where this connects to, is to, like, we're going to be like, bring your bike. Let's
Amazing.
go. You know, so, and none of that would be possible if you didn't have your best face forward.
Yeah.
And you know, and we weren't doing like Paul Mackey stuff or didn't have that connection.
Yeah.
Or reached out to Wounded Warriors and said, hey, I've got an idea that I'd love to give. Let's
still,
try
like,
that.
That Wounded Warriors thing is still so amazing. Like,
Thanks, man.
I love that.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a bike, just come by with
yeah.
a friend's bike and take
Yeah,
some
it's
photos. Yeah, a wicked. I will definitely reach out to Nicole Tanner. I think that's an awesome idea. The word legacy itself is amazing. I think that is a powerful word, and that's what we're leaving behind, right?
It can be if you use humility. If you use hubris, legacy is a dangerous thing.
That's
So
a good point.
you have to balance this thing out. And again, the good and the bad. It's like someone thinking that they're leaving a legacy behind by, conquering and destroying and Genghis Khan.
Yeah, true.
Do you want that legacy?
No, Ooh, no.
That's a legacy too. Some people believe in that stuff. Like they want to leave that kind of like, conquering thing. It's like, anyways, like that's
too
why it's like,
much, yeah.
that's why I have to say, be careful with the legacy thing and like make sure
true.
you're using humility in anything you do. My son and I talk a lot about humility.
Nice.
This kid is, listen, man, 17 years old,
Yeah.
straight A student. Like
Nice.
he's averaging in the high 90s.
Amazing.
Right? He's taking advanced grade 12. His math is like, I'm so proud of him for what he's accomplished. He works out and he's fit. He's had a job. He's like he's got everything.
Wicked.
He's got when you look at this, he almost has the right to be, have ego and hubris and stuff like that. It's like, hold on, temper it, like bring it down.
Nice.
Like you need to lower yourself down to be like, and it's not the tall poppy syndrome, which in the UK and and I don't know if you're familiar with it, in the UK and Australia, they'll tell the tall poppy syndrome. You're not better than everybody else. It's like, that's why tall poppies always get cut.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So you need to have humility in what you do in your life. But he has the backing of like, he would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning at 16 years old, ride his bike to the Whitby Rec Center and work out. Then he would come home, eat, get ready, go to school, straight A student. Then he would come home and he would work. And this kid was like, man, you're young to do this. I love the work ethic.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. But if someone without the proper foundation
Yes.
you can turn into a cocky person.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it becomes a little bit dangerous. So have the humility, like, hey, listen, we're just trying to make the world better and everybody
very
around
smart.
us better.
Yeah. Good
And that's
point.
kind of like what I'm trying to pass on. So legacy and like back to humility and hubris.
That's
Anyways.
amazing. That's so important. That's amazing, man. Yes.
So what was the other thing? We went from the Mackie thing to storytelling.
Yeah.
Every house has a story to tell.
Yeah,
When I take my clients through the house, I'm like, every house has a story.
Yes, absolutely. And just to cap off that, the result with Healthy Meats, it was listed for half a year. We made those videos, sold within a week.
Oh my God.
So
Amazing.
It's great, right? Yeah, totally. And I'm trying to have the humility right now because I'm so proud of it. Obviously,
be
but
proud of it.
But it is like, and that's my crusade of trying to change commercial
but
real
not just
estate.
change commercial real estate, but you are being in service of other people.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where it is. It's like you have the humility and understanding in this, and this is like an important thing that you are helping people. We are all helping people.
Yeah.
I came across this idea of we are all walking each other home. This home is death. I play with this idea that death is where we are going. This is home. People avoid it. I posted something about death not too long ago. Where it can be this dangerous thing that people think of death. So I'm just going to do whatever I can and YOLO. It's like, hold on a second. This is not what we're talking about when it comes to you have only one life. We are all, no one is escaping death. We are all trying to walk each other to a good life towards the end. This is kind of what we're all trying to do. And what you're doing is helping and being in service to help people to whatever it is they're on their path. But
Yeah.
Like-
And I figured that out, and I hope other people do too.
I do,
You
yeah.
figured that out. You help.
I'm still figuring it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Well, like I don't think there's a better person, and I truly mean this. That in my personal observing, a better person in the position that you have to help people at Keller Williams.
thank you.
Like,
Yeah,
that
I
is
appreciate that.
so
Yeah.
incredibly lucky for all those agents and like it's just,
If I can have conversations like this every day and just kind of inspire people to do something bigger in their lives.
Of course, that's not your entire job, but that is a big part of it.
But that's a big part. And again, this is like, we talk about going back to the real estate thing. We have an opportunity to sign someone's book of life. And we get to either end a chapter in their life or help them begin a new chapter in their life.
Nice, yeah.
All we are there is just to assist them.
Yes.
And be in service. And I'm going to sign off, like my signature. I ended this chapter for you in this house, and now we're going to begin a new one.
Wicked.
That's what we're doing.
That's beautiful. That's a good way
We're
to
all
put it.
stewards, man. I think this is like kind of an important thing that we recognize in life.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can people find you and whatnot? I think we had such.
Oh, dude, it went everywhere.
We'll have you come back. And maybe I'll come to Keller Williams. I know you have a podcast station up there. Set up too, which is
that would be
awesome,
awesome, man. Yeah.
So how can people find you and what you're about and things like that?
I play a lot in the. I say play. I do. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. That's usually the easiest way to find me if you want to get a hold of me.
Wicked.
Like people message me through there. Hey, I'd like to have a coffee. I'm like, sure, let's get together
Awesome,
for coffee,
dude.
talk about life or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but you can always find me at the office right now. So I've committed to helping Jamie Lee, who's the owner of our brokerage, to help her grow the business because I do believe in the model of Keller Williams. I do believe
Nice.
that. Getting around people who want to help you do better in life. And you can do this in any brokerage. It really doesn't matter, but I'm committed to this thing right now. So you can find me there pretty much 9 to 5, almost every day. Outside of that, you'll find me at the gym pretty much at TYG, which is one of my favorite places. If you love group fitness, TYG is the place to be.
Yeah.
It's in Whitby.
That's right.
Off of, it's on Dundas and McQuay.
Right.
So I cannot express how much fitness have changed my life. And so I'm there pretty much every morning at 6:45. I walk in and I'm like high-fiving everybody. Let's go.
Sweet.
I'm like, this is like
awesome.
full of energy. People are like just
Yeah.
waking up. And
That's inspiring.
sometimes people are like, John, how do you do this in the morning? I'm like, man, I have a choice.
Yeah, wicked.
Right? I can choose to be happy.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing happiness.
Yeah.
Like you always have an opportunity to choose happiness. Anyways, you can
Maybe
find
we'll do a run with Tony. Maybe we'll set up
Dude,
a
I would
charitable
love
event.
to. So
or
I
something.
actually got into barefoot shoes
Yes.
for like the last 3 years. I've converted all my shoes to barefoot shoes.
Nice.
So
right. Where it's still like a
it's
little
flat.
protection.
Yeah, just a little bit protection. So it's like minimalistic shoes.
Wicked.
Wider toe box,
Yes.
minimal on the bottom.
It'll help build a good, should.
I walked to downtown Toronto with my barefoot boots.
Oh, wow.
Right,
Well
so
done.
it's like I could feel everything on the bottom of my feet. I was like, oh my god, this is hard.
Every rock. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm running a High Rocks race coming up in
Oh,
May,
sweet, man.
and then I'm gonna with my brother, and then I'm gonna run a High Rocks race with my son in October. So
Nice.
I love fitness and I love doing these challenges. So
Awesome. I hope to be there with you.
when the time comes, be careful. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
When the time is right.
Yes.
This is an important thing.
Yeah, we have someone who's going to be coming on the podcast too, from TYG, who does personal fitness training.
Josh Wilson.
Yeah,
He is the man.
Wicked.
I love Josh. Oh my
Sweet.
God, he is awesome.
wicked. Yeah, I was even
Iron Sun's training.
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah,
right. And I was
yeah.
considering checking out his one-on-one online stuff. So we are like ready to book him on next. Actually,
Amazing.
Yeah, and I keep seeing TYG as well. I know McDougall team did a little highlight
Bailey
of
did it.
too.
Yeah, Bailey reached out to me. He's like, "How do I get a hold?" I'm like, "Here,
Sick.
call
That's
Chris.
awesome. Oh,
He's
well
the owner."
done. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so kind of you too. See, that's how like competitors can play together.
There's no competitors, man.
Yeah, that's a
There's
bad word
no
for it.
competitors,
Yeah.
dude.
No. We're all especially in real estate. It's important to be like at service, especially with like recent crazy OREA stuff that we won't get into. But yeah, and now Michael Roberts wants to do a few That's what's happening now. He wants us to highlight some local businesses too, and as a steward of your local community. Like you should be being like here, like check out these places.
Yeah.
These are so awesome. And I have a few ideas I'm not gonna say on camera because I'm keeping it for myself. But then everyone will do it hopefully.
okay.
There's one really, really, really awesome thing I'm gonna do with my very small local Newtonville community. where I live, and it's completely at service to all my neighbors. To just be like, and it's not in your face. It's no more knocking on the door. Hey, you want me to sell your house? It's not like that at all. But it's in the similar vein of that, but in a new age.
So Newtonville, your
Yes.
community.
Yes, and you'll see it very soon what I have up my sleeve. I have not seen this idea been deployed yet.
Okay.
And it's probably because it's especially unique to what I can offer too.
Okay.
And that's what I'll leave it at. There's
Yeah,
a little teaser.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited to
and
see that.
we'll see if it, I guess I'm not worried, but I would be supremely blessed if a bunch of people wanted me to sell their homes. But that's not what I need to do something I love doing, which is telling stories.
Yes.
So yeah.
But okay, if you can help change someone's life, that's a true blessing.
Yeah,
Whether
true.
you're helping them change from one house to the next
Right.
house, like we are always going to be in service to helping other people. Man.
Nice.
It's
That's
a beautiful
true.
thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like helping people. Again, that's just like real estate is real estate. We are tools to allow them to help get from one place to the next.
Yeah.
And when you connect with someone that they're like, hey, I love working with you because whether it feels good, you've gotten the right price, you've done all the right things to help them.
Yes.
It's like through experience and through these things, it's an amazing opportunity
yeah.
we have to help people, man.
Absolutely.
That's what it keeps coming down to in
Yes.
service. I
Yes.
don't know. I keep
Yes.
thinking about that.
It is, yeah, when done right, it's an incredibly difficult thing to do. It's not easy.
No.
And unfortunately, agents get a very bad rap. But I think that's becoming more.
So how about this?
Yes.
People have a bad rap. Let's change this because again, just like you can say all police, it's like, well, you're all of them?
Yeah,
Really?
that's a good
all
point.
agents? It's like,
Yeah.
really? It's like,
Yeah.
hold on, there's some good and there's some bad. But guess
Yes.
what? In life, labels get confusing because then you'll just like, nope, they are this. Nope, they are that. And it's like, okay, is everyone in this category that?
Of course not.
Stop. It's like, let's not play this game because
Yes.
this goes down to the idea of identity politics.
Yeah.
When you identify someone based on a label of something, whatever it be from a political standpoint, or you are this, it's like, am I just this?
No way.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm much deeper. I'm much more broader.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So, yes, there are good agents and there are not so many good agents.
right. Yes.
We're people, man.
Yes. That's true. That's a very good point.
Like, I see this. It's like, when I die, am I going to be John the realtor?
Probably not. No, you'll be just, that's just one component.
It's just, it's just
Yeah.
a spoke in the wheel of life of me.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I'm not just that one thing. You're not just this one thing.
No.
You're more, man.
Yeah.
But we can get lost in this thing. We can get lost in these labels.
No.
Like I always get worried about that. It's like, because sometimes I will say, I am just a father. I am just a husband. I am just me. And it's like, well, no, I am more than that because I'm not just this. This is part of who I am. Right now, I'm helping people in real estate. I love to do this. I just love helping people, outside of real estate.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Whatever it is that we're doing to help people. Bring joy to life. Bring joy to people. Be kind. All these things. They're not again, they're through almost every religion,
Yeah,
every mythology.
that's true. Yes. Be kind to your neighbor. Listen to them. We covered a lot of awesome topics, man. I hope we will get the opportunity to do something together.
I'm always open.
And we'll
whatever it is.
grab a coffee here and there. I have no doubt. That'd be a lot of fun.
We're always open.
Just
I love this.
Yeah, man.
So I found you on Instagram. You find me on Instagram. We connect. We connect to
Yes.
the world. That's all we're doing. We're helping people connect.
Wicked,
I love
man.
this.
Wicked,
I appreciate
dude.
it.
Very good. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for coming
Ευχαριστώ
on, bro.
πολύ.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. How do you stop?
Peace. Let's go.